All right, so we're going live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to the Academy of Men podcast. Academy of Men podcast, episode number 2, season 2, episode 2. Welcome back, my brother. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. A lot has happened, but we're live. How about you?
Well, since the last episode, which we literally recorded it at the beginning of the spring, literally the day of.
Yeah.
And I just recently posted it up. Sorry for the delay, guys. Technical difficulties, but now we're back.
Yes. Back and better.
Yeah,
We got
for sure.
2 different angles.
Yes.
The mics are better now.
Yep. Perfect.
Where
All
we
right,
starting
my
today?
man. So, I always like to always catch up. I know that your life has changed drastically since we last spoke, since the last spring.
Yeah.
Congratulations on becoming a firefighter.
Yes. I'm a fireman now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not out of the academy just yet. So
Right.
You officially earn the title once you graduate.
Okay.
But yeah, cut the hair.
But you got in though. You
Yeah.
got in and you went through, right?
I did. I just survived Hell Week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing I've ever done in my life, for sure. I'm doing stuff that I would have never thought I would be doing.
Right.
Jumping out of windows.
Dealing with actual fires.
Yeah, we haven't done live burns yet, but
Oh, what?
I'm going to be dealing with
Okay.
actual fires. Right now, it's just the basic, what's it? You gotta learn how to crawl before you can walk.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm in the crawling phase,
Mm.
learning the gear, learning the equipment, the ins
Yeah, it
and
must be a
outs,
lot, right?
the history of said equipment, etc. And then learning basic maneuvers. And you gotta have a certain amount of control over your body before you can start handling these pieces of equipment and these apparatuses. So it's all a learning curve. Like I said, I've never been on a ladder, believe it or not.
Interesting.
More than 6 feet. I've been on those 2-step ladders to
Yeah.
the top of something, but
So
more than 6 feet on a roof, power tool.
Excuse my language, but I don't fuck with ladders.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they always ask me. It's a joke. They find it very funny, but I'm always like very dead ass. They're like, "Rios, you scared yet?" I'm like, "Yep." Yeah. Every time I answer yes, because these tools are intimidating. Man. Have you read the chainsaw before?
I have. I own a chainsaw.
Bro, those
Yes.
things are.
Yeah, they're no joke.
When I felt the power behind that thing, I'm like, yo, if something falls on that, it's just gonna.
You can literally rip anything up as long as it's not a rock, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
They have special tools for rocks, but a human body, like you put an arm, a leg.
It's going right through that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So first time I was on a ladder, then first time holding a power tool like that,
Oh wow.
and then they gave me a power tool on a ladder.
What?
Put it together, yeah. And then they were like,
About to call OSHA.
they were like, okay, an emergency's happening. You got to jump out the window onto a ladder. I'm like, what? So just a lot of stuff, a lot. But I just passed Hell Week. So,
Okay.
one thing that I thought that you would find very interesting throughout this entire experience is that they're kind of gearing us or training us basically, and I might be overstating this a little bit, but they're kind of training us to suffocate ourselves. So hear me out.
Worst case scenario?
Worst case scenario,
Yeah.
you run out of air in a fire, in a burning building. If you move your mask, not only are you dead, but now you are burning the pathways of air in your body. You're burning up your respiratory tract or your respiratory system. If they do find you, there's no way they're going to be able to bring you back unless there's a surgeon going into that burning building. Even if that, there's
Because of the
very low
intensity,
chance,
right?
it's just going to burn up your lungs beyond repair.
Yeah.
And now if you pass out due to suffocation and they find you, there's a better chance of them finding
Right.
you if your mask is still on
Right.
and the airway is still intact.
Right.
So it's like the last event we just did, it's called Mass Confidence. It was a few things that we needed to do until we needed to do those things until we ran out of air completely. Like we brought the bottle to 0.
Oh, snap.
Have you ever taken a breath and nothing come out? Like just the air we breathe, we take it for granted, bro.
Yes,
for sure.
I have had allergic reactions.
Okay. Where you can't.
Yeah, like I'm allergic to shrimp.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yes, I'm highly allergic to shrimp. I went to a hibachi spot one time.
Oh my god.
And sorry, we'll continue on with your story, but I went to a hibachi spot one time, and I knew I was allergic to shrimp. So, when you go to a hibachi, you tell them, hey, listen, we have somebody with allergic reactions, please don't mix the foods together. But the air was intoxicated with the rest of the other people cooking, right? They didn't have enough ventilation. Yeah. So that air went to my lungs. I was in Texas. Oh. That air went to my lungs. By the time I got back to the hotel, I couldn't breathe. I was like,
oh man, yeah. Yeah.
That has happened to me twice already. At that, I did have my EpiPen this one time. I was thinking of going to the hospital, but I was like, nah, I'll just leave it through.
So you were able to...
I was able to continue on throughout the rest of the night. Okay. Thank God.
Benadryl or nothing?
Nothing.
Dang, you brave.
Yeah, bro.
That's very dangerous. I would never advise you to do that again.
I won't do it again.
Because they could have swelled up while you were sleeping.
So back to your story.
Yes. But yeah, so you have to keep doing these drills up until the mask sucks to your face, and that's what happens when you run out of air. The mask gets tighter, and you're breathing, and it's just fixating onto your face even harder.
Right.
It's very, very scary. Very, very scary concept. But I've had my fair share of adversity in there. I got stuck in a tube.
A tube?
Yeah,
wow,
bro. Crazy stuff. Yeah. We can talk some more details about it later. But I've gotten stuck in a tube. And like I said, jumping out of a window was big for me. I said that before.
Thomas Jefferson was actually one of the first ones to be a founder of a firefighter unit in Pennsylvania. Yeah, in the Commonwealth.
I had no idea.
I read his biography, and I found out. Yeah, I think he was probably one of the only ones in the U.S. at that time. It's insane. Yeah. I mean, first of all, what a privilege.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're from the Bronx, bro.
Yeah.
There's no
I'm just
way.
happy to be here,
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
I always have to remind them of this, and they know it too. They always mess with me. They call me Magic Mike. They found out I'm a dancer.
Oh, really?
They're they run it very paramilitantly, so it's like they're yelling at you the whole time. They're playing mind games with you the entire time, and the mind games win all the time with me. But yo me dejo llevar. So if you tell me this is gonna be one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and you're a well-renowned lieutenant or captain, I take it very serious. I'm not one of those kids that just brushing shit off like that.
Right.
I take you seriously because you present yourself very seriously to me, and then so
they cook you for
that? They cook me for it. They get me, and I'm just like, okay, I'd rather have this issue though, because I have some people that are there that don't take it as serious
for sure
as they should, and they end up falling short in some aspects. But
yeah, my brother Omar joined the Coast Guard. Shout outs to him. The fact that he joined the Coast Guard, first of all, super proud. Yeah. I was like, my first family member. We're first generation immigrants in the U.S. So first family member to join the military of the United States of America. To me, is
it's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a very big deal. I was talking with my uncle. I recently reconnected with him, and I was telling him about how if I get this prior to getting in, it's like if I get in, this would be a really good way for me to. This would be a really good career for me to just lock in.
Oh yeah.
And just commit to, and it's got so much that it's willing to offer me. And I just found out that pensions transfer over from fire to Department of Education. So, bro, the ceiling is very, very high for this career.
That's awesome, bro.
Exactly, you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah.
So,
I knew when you told me that you were going in. I was like, I almost get a little emotional about it because I know your struggle, bro.
Yeah.
I know that you've been borderline homeless or homeless at a certain period of your time. We've had many hours of us just talking in general. So then I was like, I was re-listening to the last episode when we were discussing the healthcare.
Yeah.
Right? And I was just like, man, thank you God for allowing my brother to reach that pinnacle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And eventually it's just a stepping stone to something else in your life. But what a stepping stone, man.
Yeah. I'm grateful to have the tools to be able to thrive in a field like this.
Mm-hmm.
I know plenty. It's one of those things where like anybody can get in.
Yeah.
It's just luck of the draw. Honestly speaking, I did my fair share of trying my best to be seen by them prior to getting in, but it really is luck of the draw.
Yeah.
But you can just get in and not have the attitude or the mindset or the persona to thrive into something like that. Anybody can use a chainsaw, right? But it comes with you gotta have some cojones, and I'm not only talking physically, I'm talking like mentally too.
Yeah, for sure.
To run into a burning building. I haven't had the privilege to do that yet, but they're giving me they're filling up my toolbox with things that I need to do that.
Well, that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
I hope I never have to do it.
Well, you'll probably have to do it. Maybe.
No, but
modern technology has changed the game so much, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the way they're introducing it to us. They're saying the fire service is the only civil service that is constantly trying to put itself out of business. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, what do you mean, bro? But then, they're coming out with like fire resistant things, the smoke detectors, smoke alarms.
For sure, yeah. Everything. So I can speak a little bit on this
as a
landlord, right? And I've dealt with commercial units and stuff like that. So, like the fact that society, right, has understood that fires will happen, right? Again, back to Thomas Jefferson, who discovered that lightning was actually electricity. Yeah. And now, most of our houses don't get hit by lightning. Yeah. Because they get rerouted or whatever. So on top of that, modern technology has been able to figure out how to properly use fire. Yeah. Right? Like most people don't have like a wooden stove.
Yeah, not anymore.
Like you turn the gas, like think about that. The piping that have to go through or come from somewhere. Yeah. Like I've never looked into it, but the piping that has to come through somewhere to then connect to your water heater, your furnace, right? Go all the way up to your to your stove.
Thank God for advancements.
Thank God for advancements. You click on it, it goes tick, 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 and then it turns on. Bro, like humans have mastered fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So then advancing on the the safety, bro, they went from having battery powered smoke detectors. Yes. So now they're just like lithium ion that lasts forever.
Yeah, 15 years is there.
That's insane.
Life expectancy.
Right? And then some of them you can actually connect it directly. When you get to commercial, you have to have fire sprinklers.
Yes, you do.
And then
even a residential, you have to have it too.
Well,
for new properties, the new code is you need it. There's properties that are grandfathered in and they don't need it unless they make renovations. Right. So if you were to do a certain type of renovation in your property now, you would need to upgrade that and install a sprinkler system.
Right.
So it'll increase the price.
They have it so advanced that as soon as in these commercial units, as soon as the trigger goes for the fire alarm, it automatically tells the nearest fire station. Yeah. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Yeah. So, shout out to whoever is in charge of renovating and continuing to create innovation in those departments. So
innovation is exciting.
Innovation is exciting, and it just makes us continue to be that much safer.
Yeah, bro. Coming the day before Thanksgiving, I will be a fireman.
The day before Thanksgiving? Wow, that's a long process.
It's 14 weeks, yeah. So, because think about it, you got firefighter 1, they break it up into two things. Firefighter 1, firefighter 2, then they got hazmat and then codes. So I need to be well versed in all those things before I go onto the line. And yeah, this is something I'm going to be able to pour my time into, and it'll be a lot more rewarding than things that I've poured into in the past.
100%.
Yeah, and yeah, it'd be a really good foundation. I could die as a fireman.
You could. Yeah. Your kids are gonna be proud of you.
Yeah, and it's pretty fucking badass. I didn't realize how 100%. Yeah, I didn't realize how badass it was.
Everybody, so everyone that I've told that you are now a firefighter and that knows you, they're like, all right, so when is the calendar coming out?
I gotta get into a little bit better shape. Speaking of that, I went up a little bit in weight right before going because I had an ankle injury. I was 238 and now I'm 226.
Okay.
And it's only been 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I still have.
No,
yeah,
that's
it's fluctuating though because there's a lot of weight training exercises. So I'm losing a lot of water, burning a lot of fat, but I'm also increasing the muscle mass.
Right.
So it's been.
You're gonna be lean, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I hope you're lean because if you're gonna, if you need to break into my house,
yeah.
I'm gonna need you to carry me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
No, that's the truth.
That's crazy,
the
though.
reality
Right?
of what I'm doing. Yeah.
You need to be able to carry my wife, my kid, you know, somebody.
Plus my weight.
Plus your weight with the
65
equipment,
pounds
right?
that I'm carrying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already done a lot of exercises. Well, not exercise, but trainings like removing mannequins and fake bodies out, and just with the dead weights. It's ridiculous. And not to mention people who are going to be alive and awake during some of these things, going down the ladder with someone who's alive. I've never been on a ladder before. It's going to be tough. You know, I got to talk to them the entire way down. And but it's going to be exciting.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that, and we're happy to continue on with you in your journey, bro.
Yeah, stay tuned. Thank you.
But anyways, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, since it's so fresh in our minds, it's actually the whole Charlie Kirk assassination that happened.
That's a big one.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that we shouldn't necessarily shy away from that topic.
No, I'm all for it. Where are you at with it, really?
Yeah, I can definitely start on the conversation. So I was originally just in complete shock, right? First of all, I guess a little background. I have watched many hours of Charlie Kirk, right? Yeah. So I have seen him, I have heard his arguments, I have heard his debates, right? So I was pretty familiar with his perspective and lack thereof, or really the things that I agree with or disagreed with, etc., etc. One of the things that I want to say from the get-go is that no one agrees with another person 100%. Like it's just impossible.
It's really hard to.
I think it's almost impossible, honestly. Yeah. To be able to agree with someone 100% of the time is highly improbable and most likely impossible. Just because we're just so different and we perceive things just so completely different. But I was here in the college actually, and when I came out and I noticed, and you know, going through my text messages, my cousins put in the group chat that Charlie Kirk had been assassinated. Yeah. So I go on Twitter. First of all, I'm not even using social media because I go on these like random getaways. Yeah, so this was one of them where I was just like, I'm not on Instagram, Facebook, or anything like that as we speak right now. Yeah. And then I had to re-download X or Twitter to be able to watch the video, and I saw it. Like I asked, like, first of all, my original reaction was like, it's fake. There's
like AI.
100%. And now, but then when you saw a second angle, and you heard the shot, I was like, what? How insane is that? Yeah. So that was my original reaction. What was yours?
Yeah, it's funny because I had just finished watching his interview with George Janko.
What?
Yeah, not literally like the day of. I was in afternoon PT when the video was out, and everybody was like, "Oh, this guy passed," and I was like, "What? Who are you talking about?" And they said his name, and I'm like, "No way!" And at first I was in disbelief also. Yeah. And then I saw the multiple different angles also, and I was like, "What? No way!" And in the episode with George Janko, he was talking about his book and his wife and his kids, and immediately I just felt very bad for him. He's somebody that I don't necessarily 100% agree with, but if you were to ask me what's a point that Charlie Kirk has ever brought up that you disagree with, it would be very hard for me to find one right away. Yeah. Just because I don't necessarily disagree with what he says. I disagree 100% with how he says it. Okay. And I think that this new my new interest in religion and in Christianity. I think
it touched on something, right?
As a follower, well, I don't pretend. I'm interested in the religion.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to learn what that consists of. But from my idea of what a Christian is supposed to be, is somebody who leads with love. I don't necessarily think he 100% led with love. And I'm familiar with the concept of God hates because he loves so much. But I don't think that he is God in many instances and at all, right? And I do think that, I'm sorry if I'm going off on a tangent here, but I do think that he portrayed himself oftentimes as trying to be the law. When in reality,
I see what you're saying.
It's God's law.
Yeah.
And I understand how it's okay with shunning some things and saying, I don't agree with your lifestyle. But as a Christian, from what I've been able to identify, you're supposed to lead with love, whether if you agree or disagree with somebody's lifestyle or not. And I don't necessarily think that he always led with love and compassion in all of his rallies.
Sure, 100%.
And, I think that... Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. One of the things that I think I would like to add to that is that one of the things that actually made him who he was the ability to debate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a master debater.
Yeah,
in general.
And he was great at it.
He was incredible
really
at it.
And I'm always taken back at how he's able to like shit on college students about that's another point I'd like to bring up. But I'm always baffled at his ability to shit on college students who are people who are actively pursuing careers and in certain fields. Like he's such a very smart guy.
Yeah,
somebody who's never went to college.
He was very unique.
Also.
Yeah, he dropped out.
Right, he's a college dropout. He's very, very smart. So I think that speaks more to his intellect more than anything else. What's going on out there? But back to what we were saying, I do think that when you walk in that kind of faith, I do think, like I said, you should be held to a certain standard. And I'm so hesitant to speak on this because I'm very new to the faith and new to learning about it. But I thought the point of a Christian is to spread Christianity, not to necessarily try to be an enforcer. God doesn't need you to enforce Christianity, doesn't need you to go up and fight a war in the name of Christianity. And I don't necessarily think that that's what he was doing by saying that, but I do think that there have been plenty of times where he's kind of positioned himself to be the opposition of a lot of other lifestyles.
Sure,
and I do think it was a bit unnecessary. And I think that when you are somebody who has the answers, and somebody that has the cheat code, and you're able, because he's very well versed in scripture also.
Yes, he is.
In the George Janko podcast, I was able to...
Wait, dude.
This fly is messing. In the George Janko podcast, he shows that.
Yeah.
He's very... He's very adamant in following Christ.
Did you know that? First of all, he's very well educated in regards to the scripture itself.
Yeah.
Which was quite fascinating. Like when he started throwing like Leviticus and like
random thing. It says in Genesis first, and he'll recite it word for word, bar for bar. And I'm just like, as somebody who has all of this knowledge, I don't feel like it's been. I don't know. I'm so hesitant to speak on.
Do you think that he had like a higher calling?
That's been a lot of the conversation a lot lately. But I do think that if you are, play big games, you gamble with big prices.
100%. Yeah. I mean, the risk was.
And nobody deserves this. I'm so heartbroken with what happened to him. Really, really, I am. Maria has been devastated by it too. She didn't know who he was until after this happened. Then she started involving herself into his content, and she's like, "What the heck? This guy is super nice."
Bro, I was completely heartbroken.
Yeah, it's rough.
I got to the point where I was just like sitting in my car by myself, and I was just like in complete shock, really, because he was, like you mentioned, he was one of the nice ones. Like, despite whether or not, depending who you ask, sure. But based on what I can see, I've never met him before, never had a conversation with him, whatever. So all I can base my judgment on is the actual content that he created.
Right. This actually goes back a little bit to what the discussion we've had in the past. about how I feel like with certain comments that we make, we can sometimes put someone else on an island by saying one thing is right.
Sure.
We don't necessarily need to say that the other thing is wrong to make them feel like they're being told they're wrong.
I understand.
And in dictating and in saying this is correct, you often make people feel like they aren't.
Of course. Is the correct, incorrect, the they, the us, that division, the verbiage of division.
Yeah,
sure.
I think that he knowingly did that too. No way you're someone with his caliber of brain and you don't take a second to think about the people you might be making feel shunned.
Yeah, but let's put it into perspective as well. Like, he went to college campuses and actively debated people. Yeah. Like, that was his main thing, I'm assuming. I'm sure he has other content. I never read his book. Yeah. I didn't even know he had a book out. So if someone wants to come into a debate, for example, especially like a college student, like if you're saying,
No, you're right.
Regardless of the topic,
it's a debate.
It's a debate.
It's not
right.
Yeah.
So because we have to see it from that lens, it wasn't like he was actively in the middle of campus, with a microphone just preaching the gospel.
Right.
He was definitely like a debater.
Yeah, all we saw from him was these debates.
Just debates.
Because I did develop kind of like a soft spot for him when I saw him speaking of George Janko. So we got to see him.
Yeah, he went on PBD podcast. Patrick Blue David. He was there. I've seen him bro. He was 31 years old.
Yeah, that is nuts.
He's the same age as me, bro.
Right.
And
he just had a baby too. No?
He has 2 children, a girl and a boy. And then that's the other thing that really shocked me. Yeah. First of all, just the assassination itself, right? Like, despite him,
that's pretty scary, bro.
That's pretty wild. Yeah. He had his own security. The campus must have had their own security.
Some form of security also. Yeah.
Right, of course. But unfortunately, just the angle in which everything was placed, he was an open target. Yeah. Bro, and I've studied, I'm not going to say I've studied, I've never gone hunting before. Mm-hmm. But when you go hunting and you're trying to hit a deer, that's the spot that you want to hit it. Mm-hmm. Right? And what a shot, bro. Like, it was 250 yards? I don't remember off the top of my head. Like that. But it was just right on the neck, bro. And I was just like, I instantly knew that he died.
Oh yeah, instantly. Once we saw that everybody in the training is a paramedic or EMT, we all instant deal with.
Instantly, just died. I've seen and I've studied some of the way that projectiles hit a body and like how the shock just expands the insides and his neck, how he just went back, all the blood. It was just gruesome in general. But
prayers for his family.
Yeah, prayers to his family. That was the most devastating aspect of it. Like, I generally, teared up, man, because I was just like, as a person who, for example, is considering running for office one day. First, he wasn't even a politician.
He was not. He was a YouTuber. He was a debater.
Basically.
That's literally what. Author. He was the founder of
a political movement. It's called Turning Point USA.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking of becoming a member. Yeah. But that was just complete insanity, man. And I just keep thinking, like, the fact, like, what did he do to deserve that? Yeah. Like, I just kept thinking, like, if I could just go into the shooter's brain and just, psychoanalyze him and just be like, why? Like, what was the motive? Yeah. That's scary, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it could happen to anyone.
It can happen to anyone. Yeah. There's a lot of irony in it as well. Like the fact, that Charlie Kirk was a Second Amendment advocate, right? And unfortunately,
they were just on the topic of.
They were just.
And then boom, that happened to him.
Bro,
Yeah.
They were just on the topic of mass shootings.
Yep.
Specifically on transgenders.
And then he said, gang related or non-gang related, and then boom.
And then he dies.
Yeah.
They're gonna give him the death penalty.
The gentleman or the guy kid killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been interesting to see what I've been trying to just keep up as best as I can because I'm always busy at the academy. But in the mornings I have time to kind of like read over and watch videos on stuff. And it's been interesting to see the uproar in after his passing. Some people are very right about it. Some people are very left about it, and it's interesting to see the divide that has come from this. And I hope that nothing, no more. I hope that no more violence comes from this. But it's been very interesting to see.
He would say things like, "The moment that we stop talking is the moment that people start acting in violence."
Yeah, no, that man said a lot.
Yeah, he did.
He also said things like, I'm gonna misquote it, not 100%, but he said like, if there's gonna be 1 or 2 shootings a year for me to keep my guns,
Second Amendment.
I want to keep them.
Yeah.
And man, it's very sad.
It's very sad.
Very, very scary. And I'm chuckling and giggling for a lack of.
No, I mean,
I'm
just
speechless.
Yeah.
I really, really.
Yeah.
Am.
It was insanity. It completely shocked me. And took me into like, just like a dark place in general. I kept thinking, I was like, yo, is it worth it? Like, if I ever wanted to run for office, is it worth me losing my life and then having to leave my family behind
or putting your life at risk?
Or putting my life at risk. Like, my life is nothing at the end of the day. Sure, whatever, I die. But then, like, the aftermath, those people that I leave behind in the wake of my death.
This goes to show how lucky Trump was too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What he the irony in that, he just turned his head for something, right? Like scratching his nose or something.
No, actually, he was pointing at a projector.
Pointing at something, and then he moved just enough to not get hit by that.
Yeah. Because if not, it would have hit him somewhere around this area.
Wow. Yeah, prayers for Charlie Kirk's family. I don't condone any form of violence, no matter what you believe or not believe in. I think it's very uncalled for.
100%. I think that unfortunately, like that shooter, for whatever reason, decided to do that. We're not God to know what was the reason.
Yeah.
We're not God to know why it was allowed to happen.
Right.
Which is another insane topic.
Right? Yeah, that's a big topic.
Right. So
we spoke about it a little bit in the last episode. About Job and like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
But
R.I.P. to Charlie Kirk.
R.I.P. to Charlie Kirk. He didn't deserve it. I think he's a martyr for debate and free speech. Between a couple things. What do you think of the seeing people rejoice on his death? That was shocking to me.
Yeah, I don't condone that at all. I think it's sad to see how somebody.
People went to high school, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
People we went to high school with.
People went to high school with.
That doesn't surprise me in a weird way because they are from the city, so
right.
A lot of them are very far left or.
That's a good point.
A bit more tend to be a little more socialist.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't condone it. I think it's sad. I don't think anybody should die. I think that people who rejoice things like that are a little bit out of touch with
reality,
what death necessarily means in general, and they haven't been around it enough to really understand the impact it has
or the aftermath. Yeah,
right. I think there's just something missing. Something's not clicking for them in that moment. And I pray
one of the things that, and after this we can touch on the next topic. One of the things that I realized is that we are in a point in society that we are almost seeing each other as not even humans, but more like avatars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. I think people pay a tremendous amount of attention to how they portray themselves online. I think it's sad because a lot of times they pay more attention to how they portray themselves online than in person. You see them online traveling, all these nice outfits, and you see them in person, they're in slides and a t-shirt.
You ever watch Black Mirror?
Of course. Well, not the full thing, but I've watched maybe like season 1.
All right. Well, do you know that episode where they're in like a room like this or a smaller room, and they just show a bunch of ads, and he has to pay for them?
To get removed?
Yes, the black dude from what's that movie?
Get Out.
Get Out. Yes.
I've seen that episode. Yeah.
Incredible episode,
and then
right?
he falls in love with that one girl.
Yes.
I know.
And then so the fact that when the girl goes and she's performing.
Yes.
Right? And then everyone else, like everyone in the background it's an avatar. So that dehumanization of just like she ends up going into porn.
Yeah.
Right? Which is insane. And then like the people were like, yeah, go for it, go.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, for her a porn deal instead of the singing deal she wanted. Yeah. I remember that, yeah.
So to me, we're almost in almost that kind of sense, right? Where it's like Charlie Kirk was not a real person. Yeah. He was just an avatar that, that just simply got killed.
Yeah.
And I think that's a dangerous path.
Yeah.
We need to be able to humanize us again.
Yeah.
I
see what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely.
He could have done all this online and not have had to worry about potentially getting shot. But I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong in my train of thought, but
no. I think it's fair to say because he did almost seem like a completely different person in the George Janko podcast. I didn't have much of a good taste for him prior to seeing that episode. And then when I got to watch that episode, I was like, oh, this guy's kind of human.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he also has a family and cares and feels things, but it's very hard to understand that and really hard to really grasp that and remember that when he is as assertive as he is in his debates.
100%.
And I've only ever seen his debates prior to that.
Right.
So it's just like, wow. But then again, I've been wrestling with that whole concept of like, oh, but I thought if you know the answer, and like why don't you just be nice about it? I know I might sound like a bitch when I say that, but he was pretty aggressive and assertive. But like you said earlier, and it's been shifting me a lot right now in this moment. His purpose was to debate; it wasn't to enlighten. So you've definitely given me a lot to think about.
Yeah, for sure, because even the topics themselves were
very
for debate.
Thought-provoking.
So the point of his entire tour, which he first started in Salt Lake City, Utah, was called Prove Me Wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Who was the other guy who used to do that?
There was a few of them. There was a guy named Shouter.
Yeah, Shouter. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that
Louder
guy.
with Shouter.
Yes.
I used to like him.
I don't remember his first name. But yeah, I mean, it's something that it's very, first of all, I think it's so interesting to watch those things.
Yeah.
Because it really, I think it opened up the perspective or the mindset of just like, what the hell are these kids learning?
Yeah. Yeah. Also, it created this whole thing. Like debate culture is a thing now.
I love debating.
Yeah, in in YouTube space.
Yeah.
Debate culture is a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm much of a debater, honestly.
I don't think I've ever seen you debate.
I'm not. I don't have the attitude for it.
I see.
I noticed this a lot in the academy also. They would say things like, "You scared?" And I say, "Yes, I'm scared every single time." I mean, it doesn't mean I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Or it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be better than someone who's not scared.
Right. But your ego is not there.
Yeah, I'm scared to do it. And I just don't have that attitude. Even if I was comfortable with a chainsaw, I'm aware of how dangerous these things are. So I wouldn't even be like, me. Drop something. Like, no, you know what?
No, I think it's different. I think that's a lack of a big ego that you have specifically. But hear me out. So one of the things that I've never had an opportunity to do was actually be in a debate club, right? But a debate club is a thing, right? In specific high school. Actually, our mutual friend, Hilda,
Okay.
who went to Proctor here.
She was in the debate club, wasn't she?
She was in the debate club. Yeah. So it's a perspective. It's like, hey, we'll pick a topic. It doesn't matter what the topic is, and you're pro, and these guys are against. Yeah. So now you, regardless of your belief, have to now debate, right? Okay. So I never had the opportunity to do that, but I think it's amazing. Yeah, I think so, because it allows to do critical thinking. Yeah. Right. When we were in high school, I had the opportunity to Miss Larkin. I don't think you ever got to meet her. You got to meet her. So Miss Larkin
She congratulated me on becoming a fireman.
Ah, nice. She did a debate once, and it was supposed to be flat Earth versus the people who in class. Okay. Yeah. Then this was a long time ago. Yeah. High schoolers. Yeah, and I was on the side where I was arguing that the Earth was round, right? And one of the things that I said, I was like, wait, let me get this straight. So you're telling me that the sun is round, right? The moon is round, Mars is round, Jupiter's round, all these other planets are round, and all of a sudden, Earth is flat. You know, but it allowed me to develop that muscle of critical thinking. Yeah. So I'm a huge proponent for it.
I agree. I don't know why they don't have enough of that. Too.
Yeah, I know,
think you would think that's a skill that you would like your kids to develop early on.
100%. I think it can help with like anything.
State your case and back up your your case with evidence. State your testimony and back your testimony with evidence.
I think it helps in sales too.
Oh yeah, you should be able to. It's funny because I was getting a haircut yesterday, and I was talking with one of the other barbers who was there, and he was like, "Oh, you know, how come you haven't bought a house yet? You know, you said you wanted to buy a house when you moved here." He doesn't know me.
Oh, right.
He doesn't know my shit. And I said, "Bro, honestly, the very simple answer is I'm playing catch up." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And it's like, just put it lightly, I just learned how to chop wood efficiently about a month ago. And he goes, "Oh, I just bought a wood cutter." And I was like, "I just bought a wood splitter." I was like, "Yeah, good for you." But it brought me to that, and I was thinking about how much catch up I've been playing in my adulthood.
Yeah.
And debating is something that I haven't been able to really, because the household I grew up in, there's no debating in adulting in general. There's no debating Uncle Sam, bro. There's no debating politics of getting into the fire department. There's no debating the politics of infrastructures that have been present for a while.
That is so interesting. I've always seen my life as a debate.
Yeah, it's playing with fire. You gotta be careful too.
Yeah, I used to argue with my parents about like anything. Like I remember arguing about sleepovers. My mom refused to allow me to do sleepovers. I could not stay in any other person's house. I used to be like, but why? Right? Like give me a reason. And she would always throw the same thing because I said so. And that used to drive me insane. Because I used to be like, "Mom, you cannot." I was a terrible kid, but I used to be like, "Yo, that is not a proper answer. Like that is like you need to give me a factual statement." Like, I love it. It has developed me to become the person that I am debating. You know, and as you guys can see, all our followers, you know, we talk about different topics, and we're able to debate any topic. Yeah. No, that's awesome. One of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about, since we were talking about avatars, was this gamification of life. You know, and I sent you a video. Yes. I don't know if you got to watch it, but
I did.
I sent you a video, and we're gonna put the link to the video right up here so you guys can see it. You can see it after the episode or before the episode, but I found it really interesting, right? This idea of gamifying life. As a matter of fact, as I was editing some of our previous videos, it sounds like we have actually discussed this topic before.
Yeah. You've shared this video with me in the past.
Oh, I have?
You have. Oh, we never had
a conversation about it, right? And, you know, there were definitely many different topics that he touched on. And one of them is this idea of that, you know, if we don't, life is not a game, but there are many aspects of life that seem to be like a game. Yeah. You know, one of which, the mere fact that we have laws of physics, right? So if anybody has ever played any video games, you know,
always bounded by the laws.
You're always bounded by the laws of the physics in the game,
yes,
right? Which can vary, right? The same movement for GTA.
It's not the same.
It's not the same for any other, you know, Halo or whatever the case might be. And so that is, you know, that idea that, you know, there's in our life, in our perspective of reality, there seems to be almost like a developer, right? Or the developers, to which he also points out, right?
Yeah.
That there are many features of the game that seem to be hidden from us, like our personal abilities, the laws of physics, right? The mere fact that our programming is limited by age, right?
Yes.
Like humans can't live forever. In-game coins. Our system itself. So I just, there were so many things that about the video itself that you know, I just wanted to touch on, so we could dive a little deeper on it.
I mean, I've always seen it that way. Even prior to watching his video games.
That's interesting. I mean,
prior to watching this video, I think that the video games I've played growing up and the TV shows and cartoons that I've had like a hyper fascination for have molded me to view life and treat life this way. I credit a lot of the thought processes that I've had growing up to Spider-Man and to Avatar: The Last Airbender. The virtue that I in my brain kind of like fabricated my life off of wasn't 50 Cent, and it wasn't Fat Joe, and it wasn't Ja Rule. You know, that wasn't really cool to me. I thought the zip-up hoodie that didn't really fit you with the blue jeans and, you know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
I thought that was cool. You know what I mean? So I have always kind of like viewed life very similarly.
Okay.
To it. I don't think much of the dialogue or much of what I've been able to see from my parents equipped me with that. If that makes sense.
Right,
I learned it all.
Yeah. Or and even immediate family members.
What I'm trying to say is I made that connection very early.
That's interesting.
On in life, where there are going to be Easter eggs, and I'm not even in level 1 yet.
Wow.
There's so many different attributes,
but what a way to think about the life, right? I mean, I almost think like it's almost beneficial.
It is, and in fact, recently I was so happy I rewatched it today twice prior to us coming here, and it's funny because I was scared as shit for this whole mass confidence thing that just happened on Friday.
Mass confidence thing?
The physical test where I had to run out of air.
Yeah.
So you had to go through the entire obstacle course before running out of air. That was basically it. Holy permiso. And the reason why I feel so anxious or so worked up before some of these events is because they have stamped them as very pivotal moments in the academy. You need to pass this in order to be a fireman. And it's not just to be a fireman for me, it's to establish a legacy in my bloodline, you know, give some pride to that last name, Rios Matos, and beyond from what we already have right now. And on a different level, you know what I'm trying to say? It's not just a quick little job. So the stakes are high.
Yeah.
And then this one kid said, he's like, why you always say yeah? You know, they chew that up when you say you're scared. I'm like, because it's the reality. I'm not gonna not jump out this window. You got to see me jump the fuck out of this window, like at first, bro. But I said it's the truth though. I am worked up and I need this, you know. That's why. But he was like, dude, you play video games, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of all I do on my free time. He's like, just think of it as a game, like a sport. And I'm like, what?
This kid told you this?
This man, he's my age. He used to be a teacher prior to joining the fire academy. And he was like, just think of it as a fun game. You play sports too, right? So just think of it as you gotta score. And I'm like, let's decrease the stake a little bit. Let's be a little nicer to my psyche, and let's be a little nicer to my chest, and let's have fun with this.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like, okay.
Oh snap! Because you can edit. You know, like the different
fuel. You can, you can.
Oh snap!
You can edit. I didn't know that.
Yo,
I'm happy you're with me because I didn't think of it that way. I thought, you know, that fuel was what I needed. And up to this point, it has gotten me past, it's gotten me all the way to mass confidence. I could have gotten kicked out week 1. But I didn't because of that fuel that was coming from. And it's a good source of fuel because I punch harder when I think like that. And I was just mind blown at how easier and lighter it was on my brain and on my chest to just kind of like try to have fun with it than it was to kind of like resort to that mindset prior.
Whoa.
But
that's very interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting how in the moment I was just like, you know what, fuck this shit, bro. Fuck it. Let's just have fun.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? I get stuck again
Right.
in a tube, like that's the worst that can happen. Who cares?
I mean, like we were saying, the gamification of it helps because you know that this is just, well, first of all, the only thing that I would say is that there's no do-overs.
There isn't.
Right.
And in the moment, I was wrestling with the idea of, no, this guy doesn't have the same stakes as I do. I was like, no, but he has a family, and this guy's very nice. He's 2 kids that depend on him and a wife that depend on him. And so why would he say that to me if he, my fuel is better?
Right.
Because you're not gonna beat me if I'm thinking like that.
Right. Of course.
But lo and behold, it was hard for me to transition because going in there, I was like, I need this.
Yeah.
Mind you, we're going through these obstacle courses blindfolded, so it's just me and my brain, and what I'm able to paint in my brain with what I'm feeling. And halfway through, they started blasting music to try and disorient me. And then they started playing a song that I actually really enjoy. And then so it was very easy to just kind of like just let it go and have fun with it. And but in order for me to do that, I had to believe in the fact that I can do it.
Right.
Because the self-doubt is what made me rely on that source of fuel.
I see what you're saying.
First. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I just found it interesting because you said, I rewatched this video. He was talking about gamifying life in your brain. But I do think that is a very healthy way to view it. If you are somebody who can relate.
Right.
I know kids my age and never played video games. They just weren't gamers. It's
Yeah, no.
You don't play much video games.
Well, I grew up with video games.
Yeah. As a late teen, do you play much video games?
Late teens, yes. I only stopped playing video games, I would say maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so even all the way up to adulthood.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm about to pull the Obama. He's been caught on camera catching a fly, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that nice. But one of the other things that he mentioned, which actually hit me like a brick, was the fact that the developers created us in a way where we are not able to see the back end, right? Yeah. Where it's like that unconscious that is running, 100% of the time, even while we sleep, even while we're awake, it's still running, right? There's a reason why, I put this water bottle on this side instead of this side. Maybe it's because I'm writing, right? Yeah. Those are decisions that I'm not actively making. The fact that I am breathing, right? My body's pumping blood and all these other things are things that I don't have access to, right? Which is very interesting to me because you as a video game player, there's things that you just don't have access to, right? You may be able to find a cheat code, maybe, but it's still dependent upon the actual code itself in the video game itself, right? I like the fact that in the video he mentions that there are cheat codes that you can use in order to facilitate or advance yourself in certain things. Yeah. One of them was he calls it, you can use in-game coins to pay someone to fix these issues for you. Right? And I love that because I am a huge proponent of therapy. Right? And usually when I go to a therapist is because I want to fix an issue, right? Yeah. Whether it's like, there's an issue in my marriage, or there's an issue in my personal life, or there's an issue for XYZ, I have always seen therapists as someone who I can go to and be like, hey, there's this issue that I can't seem to solve on my own, right? It's almost in like my back end. And because I'm player one, I can't access it. Can you and I work together to access that data and remove whatever we need to remove so that I can continue playing with a better system?
Yeah.
And that to me has been game changer.
Yeah. I like the one underdeveloped, or one thing that doesn't get used enough is mentorship and coaching. I think that you can get so far ahead with things if you just
100%.
are willing, or if you have the attitude or personality to be willing to surrender something to a coach or a mentor to have them help you, help guide you to a certain place. But I was thinking about a conversation I had with my nephew years ago. When he was younger, he was moving due to some family adversity. They were moving to Florida, and he asked me. He said, "Why can't I just stay with you instead of moving with them to Florida?" And I was like, "Well, you don't want to stay with me." He's like, "No, but I like New York better. I don't want to go." And I was like, "Well, these are your girls. What's your favorite game?" He said, "Fortnite." And I said, "Well, you guys are in the bus right now, and you guys are going to be dropping to this location, and you got to help gather wood, you got to help gather supplies, and you got to help mom build. And you got to help." That's all I said. So you got to help mom build. And his eyes were like super watery. And I remember I've never felt that. I've never felt his heart or brain that open to me. And I can just see it in his eyes. The words were just clicking 100% when I used that Fortnite reference. And I think that using that, I was able to get to him also. And at first I was a little wary about it because I wasn't sure how much strain or responsibility I wanted a 13-year-old to take on.
Right.
Because that is, if you really take that mindset and go, you're gonna realize you're only 13.
Right.
So, but he was
100%.
able to receive it and immediately identify what he couldn't do and really focus on what he could do. And that kid is very smart with his grades, and he does not get in his mother's way. He's a very good kid now.
Yeah.
But
are they in Florida now?
No, they actually moved back to the Bronx. Yeah,
Gotcha.
they're in the Bronx now. But he's such a good kid, and I think that his ability to kind of like put two and two together early on, in part of it wasn't just that one conversation. His whole life has molded him into who he is. But I do think that his attachment to video games and his ability to beat video games. That kid loves Uncharted. He's like,
I love Uncharted.
Yeah, he was like 13, 14 playing that and beating the hell out of these games. And I do think that big positive upside of his attitude and his demeanor comes from his ability to think.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm almost in shock.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't sure if I was going to share that, but I had to, because for him it worked. He was able connecting two and two together. Really, I don't want to say it in a negative way, but simplified life a little bit for him. And he was able to just kind of like, oh, I just got to get good grades. Stay out of mom's way. Let her cook up.
Yeah.
And that's really all he does.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
That's awesome, man. One of the things that he brought up in the video was the fact that there are many quests.
Yeah, side quests. You gotta choose the right quest.
Bro, I mean, come on.
Right.
Talk about.
Yeah. My favorite thing he mentioned was not everybody gets the same tutorial stage.
That was a big one.
And then some people get the quest before they get the level of the quest. So like I'm making like a Skyrim reference. There's like level 40 missions, but you're level 28 doing them.
There's no way.
And it's just like, how the hell? And you could probably do a level 32 mission if you're nice enough.
Yeah.
Being level 28, but level 40, it's just like you're just destined to fail.
Right.
And some people get given those level 40 missions at an earlier level, and it's just really not fair to them.
That's crazy. Now that you mention that, I feel like
like yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Like yourself.
Yeah. That's a big one. Like, God has given me the responsibility to guide my entire family, really, almost like a head of household for.
Yeah, we've said it in the past. You've spearheaded a movement.
Yes.
In your family.
Mm-hmm.
And within reason your mom has, right?
Sure. She, I have been highly influenced by her.
Yes.
For
so,
sure.
But I would go as far as to say you're a part of that spear tip with her.
Yeah, you know, so the thing that you mentioned with that not everyone gets the same tutorial, right? I've always seen life as a game of poker, right? Where in poker, I don't know if you've ever played poker before, but the gentleman that's handing out the cards, you get 2 cards in Texas Hold'em specifically, poker Texas Hold'em. You get 2 cards, and you have to now make the choices based on the other cards that he flips. First, he flips 3, right? You either back out or you bet in, right? Once you bet in, everybody is in agreement. Some people have backed out of that game.
Yeah.
Now whoever's left is playing for the pot.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to see it, and I think that video games in general is a perfect way to see it. And I think card games more specifically because there's a limited amount of probability.
Correct.
That you can quantify.
Right.
And even though it is quantifiable, you still are at the mercy of the probability of it happening.
100%.
And for us, buying a house right now, probability is high or low depending on the market.
Yeah.
Wood, lumber, how much it costs, etc. So on.
Well, it brings me back to the idea that, you know, everybody has a different tutorial phase, right? Where I remember being in the Dominican Republic, right? I was born there, you know. And one of my cousins, one day he asked me, he was like, "Hey, Joel, like, is it true that you're rich? Like, that your family's rich?" And I was just like, bro, I must have been, what, 7?
Yeah.
8? And he was, I think he was like 2 years older than me. And at that moment, you know, I never thought about it. Yeah. I didn't know if I was rich or not. But I realized that compared to him, we were way better off, right? But I didn't have any input in that.
Yeah.
You know, it was my parents. Yeah. Like, they were the ones that did, you know, that growing up. And the mere fact that we even got a visa to come to the U.S., like, those are stakes that were handed to me. I didn't have a choice, right? And then because I didn't have a choice, you know, you have to now actively make the best out of them.
Right.
Like, what am I going to do? Be like, oh, I'm not going to appreciate the fact that my parents got me a visa, so I'm just going to go back to the Dominican Republic and, you know, live out the rest of my life out there?
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
You know, being here is an opportunity. That's a card that now I have to actively choose to make the best out of, you know? So, yeah, man, that growing up is pretty wild. What was the other one that you mentioned? It was the growing up and
I said the levels and the coaching.
The coaching. I can't be coached. I struggle with coaching.
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking with my captain actually. We got a little bit like philosophical in the classroom, and I don't like to speak just because people have, if it's not in a setting where people are meant to be or meant to receive information or are genuinely looking for information, most of the time things go in one ear and out the other. So I'm not someone who volunteers my opinion for things because if I'm opinionated on it, it's because it's coming from somewhere close, and I won't appreciate it if I share my opinion and you don't listen to it.
I see what you're saying.
So
yeah. You've mentioned that before, that you wear your heart in your sleeves, right?
Yeah. And I don't want to talk about it. If you don't actually want to have a conversation, I just don't want to talk. And I know it sounds silly to say, but it's the truth. So he asked a question. He goes, you're from New York City. Why do you grew up, how old are you? I said, 97, sir. He's like, why do you think, I forgot his exact question. He said, why do you think people are so soft? And I looked at him, and I'm someone who's very, like, especially with the whole boxing stuff now, I don't think I'm soft. You know, I really, really don't. And like, so I was just like, I just think it's different. It goes back to how we grew up, sir. And he's like, what do you mean by that? And the whole class is listening. And I said, well, you did not have the ability to develop your opinion at 12. I did. And he's like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, well, when you were 12, it was shut up, do what mom, dad say, teacher says. You probably got hit by your teacher. He's like, yep, with a ruler. And I was like, yeah, I didn't get hit teacher knew better not to hit me.
Oh, yeah.
And I had this thing called Google, where I can hold my parents and my teachers accountable.
Yes.
And it wasn't just whatever you say goes. I've been given the opportunity to develop my opinion because of just innovation and my family's innovation and my mother's psyche. You know, she asked me what I wanted from the store instead of telling me what I wanted from the store. And he was like, "That's a good point. We're gonna talk about it later." But I knew he wanted to rip me a new one.
Oh yeah.
But I really think that's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, how did I even get on that?
Well, the mere fact that we were talking about how people growing up and from the video and stuff like that. But what maybe to finalize this one, what do you think about the because we mentioned quests, right? The side quests, but he says that if you want to get on the leaderboard and if you want other people to put your names on stuff, he said you have to be able to develop your own quests.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah. But it's a give or take, right? Because there hasn't been a thought or an emotion that hasn't been felt yet. Right?
Say that again?
There hasn't really much been a thought or an emotion that hasn't been felt yet by another human being.
Yes, but
within reason.
But then again, like every human being is different.
Yeah, but we still feel the same things. I'm sad. You have felt sadness before. Yeah, so we're all individualized by our individuality.
Correct.
Okay? But I think that it's a bit oversimplified.
It might be.
Like I just said, I just learned how to chop wood. And there's kids that I know that learned that in stage 1.
Wait, let me ask you something then. Why choose to become a firefighter?
That's an interesting question. For me, at first it was money driven.
Okay.
But then after I actually got to go in for an interview, I kind of like over romanticized the idea of joining a brotherhood. I got denied the military. I don't know if I've shared that with you.
No, you didn't.
And when I got out of high school and I was on a restriction-free diet after my surgeries, my intestines got reconnected. All I had was the scars. I said, you know what, man, I wanna belong to something that's bigger than me, and I tried to be a Marine. I thought those are the hardest motherfuckers on the planet. Right. Permiso. I went to the thing, super excited. He was so happy too.
Yeah.
He wanted to help
of
me.
Course.
I told him what this would mean. Yeah. He fell in love with me. You know, he loved where my brain was. He was like, yeah, this will be a good soldier right here. And in my head, I wanted to be a good soldier. And then they found out I have Crohn's. They're like, nah, bro, sorry.
It's the same thing with me and my shrimp.
Yeah, I said, what? Why? Look at me. I'm like, this was after
you
my first year.
Hell of a
thank you.
soldier, bro.
It was after my first year of college, so I was in shape. I was working out with the basketball team every day, and I was doing very good. And I was like, man, I have Crohn's, but probably fuck you up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not really, but he was a solid dude. But I was just taken back. But I'm like, he's like, no, look, let me show you why. So he showed me the MREs and how they're it's too high in fiber, and the legalities behind what they can do in the military. They have to give you a certain amount of calories in order for them to expect you to perform. It's all science backed.
Oh, wow, that's
so
crazy.
If they expect you to run this amount of time, it's based off of X amount that they fed you.
Right.
And that's just putting it simply. And for me, since I have Crohn's disease, my intestines, you and I could eat the same 2,000 calorie meal. Depending on the day and depending on the inflammation I have in my intestines at the time, I will only absorb 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, 14, sometimes only 1,000. So yeah. So it just depends, and then sometimes the fiber will mess me up, so things don't get digested properly, and then now I'm lacking nutrients, and now they gotta supplement me, and now they gotta.
Yeah, it becomes a.
So I couldn't be a Marine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I could not be a Marine because of that. So I've found a tremendous amount of comfort and pride in this. Also, I'm gonna be a part of a legacy.
Yeah, you are.
Not just one of a thinker.
Yeah,
that's a very lonely legacy.
To be a thinker.
Yeah. I mean, if you're someone who feels things as much as I do and thinks as deeply as I do, you don't often.
I think it's honorable to be a thinker.
I think it is too. I'm not bashing. I'm very proud of who I am, and proud of the way I feel things and see things. But when push comes to shove, the reality is you gotta have stuff.
Yeah,
to show.
I don't necessarily think thinking will feed your family.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And this
100%.
will do that for me.
Yeah.
As long as I just commit to it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of upset I didn't do it sooner, but I'm also okay with the fact that I'm 28.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I think you're in an incredible path, an incredible journey. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
to even like commit,
Yeah.
right?
And I'm gonna be able to help you out with codes too. Once I take the codes class.
Nah, we don't want to talk about that.
Well, I'm gonna be a code enforcer.
Yeah,
so if you have any questions about code enforcement, I can help you.
I'm not gonna pay you off or anything for the record.
No, I'm a probie. I'm a probationary officer.
Okay.
I'm a probationary firefighter. So I will not be doing anything.
Right.
Nothing.
You'll probably
signature doesn't count.
You'll
for
probably
3 years.
come like there's gonna be a time of day that you're going. I'm gonna get a letter saying that you're gonna come inspect my house or one of the houses that I manage. And then you're gonna be like, you're gonna be there and be like, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, what's up, bro?
You know, one of the lieutenants actually, he was at our training, and I don't know if you remember this, but a long time ago when I first moved here, you had me shadow you for a day. Mm-hmm. Because I was interested in working for you, like the property management side of things. And you were like, come with me to do this. This guy doesn't know he doesn't know a lick of English, and the fire department's going to his house. He was the guy that was building an apartment in the attic illegally without the...
Damn, I wonder which one that was. There's so many of them.
Remember the tenants on like the 3rd floor didn't want to open the
Oh
doors?
my God, yes.
The landlord didn't speak Spanish.
Yes.
He
didn't
want to fix nothing. And they were going to cite... They gave him a warning.
He was staying in the attic.
Oh, he was staying
in the attic. There was no insulation.
Yeah, it was exposed.
It was a 6-unit building, and it was...
The lieutenant that's in charge, he's one of the instructors, is the guy who did the inspection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was saying, I think I've seen you before, but I just can't put... And I'm like, man, I've been hitting up the page. I've been saying hi to every firefighter I see. I've been going to this gym that's owned by a firefighter because I know it's owned by him, so I've been trying to be seen.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, maybe you saw me, I've been trying hard to get this job. He was like, no. I ever do like a call with you or something like that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he's like, you were at Conco, right? And I'm like, no. I've never done a call with you.
Okay.
But then I recognized his voice and the way he was standing. And he can come off a bit condescending.
Okay.
But it's really just his demeanor, it's just how he carries himself.
Yeah.
And he was the guy you were directly talking to.
Oh, I see.
I stood shut and was standing behind you the entire time. Firefighters are intimidating.
They are intimidating, yeah. And does he have a mustache?
He does have a mustache.
Bro, I swear to God, anybody that comes to do an inspection for me and has a mustache, like, I know they're coming in with heat, bro. Like, they're just coming in with heat. So anything like, if the fire alarms are not connected properly, and kudos to them, it's their job. But or the fire extinguisher is not properly, put against the wall, or the carbon monoxide is too high, whatever the case might be, I know that they're coming in hot.
Yeah,
so.
The thicker the beard, the thicker the skull.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. But listen, I guess we can finish up the podcast here. But to our listeners, I know we went on a rant, but this was a good episode.
I'm sorry, I talk a lot.
No, I don't care. I don't care. This was a good episode. I guess at the end of the day, we're gonna leave the link to that video again here, so you guys can watch it and then give us your thoughts. But one of the things that he says that at the end of the day, you should build your own quests. It's really that perspective of your life is really in your hands, bro.
Yeah.
Like you had to choose to do that application to become a firefighter. You had to choose to go into that Marine office and get denied for XYZ. So don't let life just you're not a log in a river, even though we might feel like it.
You're a river in a log.
You're a river in a log, maybe. you have a lot more power to shape your life than you think, right? There's no do-overs, and you only get an X amount of chances to really make it big in certain things. But I think that at the end of the day, through faith, we're still in control. We can't see the future, but we could connect the dots looking backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Remember that you are at the mercy of the probability of coincidences, and just play ball.
Yeah, the next time we talk, we're gonna talk about luck and the 4 types of luck. So, thank you guys thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This has been season 2, episode 2 of the Academy of Men podcast. Peace.
It ended it.
I know.